Hi and welcome everyone. I am Friar Tuck and this is my epoch, and what we're going to be talking about today is different business ideas for being homeless. Now I've got several different ideas. I have started a couple of businesses being homeless, and so therefore I do have some experience. For those of you that are new to the channel, I'm Friar Tuck. I talk about homeless education and homeless awareness. I've been chronically homeless for about the last 25 years. This time I have been out for, it'll be 2 years this October. Okay, so one of the businesses that I started when I was homeless is, it was gonna be called Hobos for Hire. And what it ended up happening was I was in Eugene, Oregon. You know, on the West Coast, Craigslist is pretty big, so I was searching for gigs on Craigslist, found a gig, found a guy that was very sympathetic to the homeless. He actually wanted to fund my startup and stuff like that. And what he would do is he had a little business that sold props down to Hollywood, and so we had to load the truck so that he could go down to California and then come back, and then we would load the truck again. So it was a few days a week, a couple times a month, and you make a little bit of money. Well, he was thinking one of the things that I could do is start working with other entrepreneurs. He was willing to give me connections to other people that wanted to help the homeless, put them to work, give them little odd jobs around to do so that they can be productive and don't have to be out on the street corner and starve or beg or anything else like that. So I end up going through to the homeless community, and this is kind of when I found out nobody wants to work for various reasons. Some can make more money flying a sign. My big thing is okay, like whatever the hourly wage, if they're gonna pay you $15 an hour, you're gonna get $15 an hour. You just owe me a $5 finder's fee. And this was gonna be how I funded myself so that I could go out and I could network. Was, if I'm putting 100 guys to work at $5 a pop, that's $500 a day. So if I could do something like that, that's a good idea. Now, as the world falls apart, you're going to find less and less lazy people out on the streets that are not going to want to work. And so this might be a better business idea for you if you are homeless, because if you're out there searching for gigs and doing day labor and going in using the digital marketplace as a way to be able to get up and drum up a business for you, whatever it may be, this might be a way for you to also branch out. Another thing that you could also do as a business is, doing resale. You guys have heard me talk about this before. Let's say, so remember the dumpster diver that I interviewed? One of the things that he would do is he would go through, he knew the trash cycle, so he would go out and get everybody's stuff starting at midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning, and by the time the garbage trucks were coming through, he was already gone, and he was setting up a place to be able to sell his stuff. But with the way that the market is now, with the way that everything is now, people are always searching for good deals, things like that. So now you have the opportunity to put it on sites like Etsy or Facebook Marketplace, things like that, so that you can get rid of it at a reasonable price and be able to make money. Well, that means that you're going to need support staff. So that might mean that you're going to have to hire somebody to keep track of inventory. You might have to hire somebody to do different things within that organization, and you'll be, in some ways, you'll be a solopreneur, because it's a one-man business, but there's a lot of things that you can't take care of that you need to take care of to make you legitimate, because you're going to have to go out there, you're going to have to buy a business license, you're going to have to report it and stuff like that. We could, if you guys want to, you have to leave it down in the comments. We can talk about in persona conjuncta and how to be able to hide behind your LLC. But the LLC is a very important piece of all this, and you're going to want to get incorporated. Other things that you could do is being an influencer is part of the digital economy. This in itself, just like going out and dumpster diving, is more of a one-man gig, but you need a lot of different support staff. You got memorabilia, you build a following, you've got all kinds of different things that your fans, your super fans and your new fans can be able to can pick up, and that way it contributes to you, and then they get a piece of memorabilia that shows that they're part of let's say the community of Friar Tuck and Sam. Okay, so these are some different things that you could do, as well as freelancing. Okay, freelancing is another thing in which you can do. You can do that on either Upwork, Fiverr. There's other gig sites such as like Shift Smart, Hobo with a laptop. Some of them will send you on site, some of them will not. But if you get good enough at what you're doing, and maybe you kind of start developing connections within the community, you have a non-compete agreement, so don't be trying to take other business away. But you could let them know, like, hey, if there's other stores that aren't using this app, or if you have other stores that are using within the community, I'd like to freelance myself out, and then you could slowly build yourself out from there. See, a lot of it is once you figure out how to get work for you, then you got to figure out how to get more work so that you can bring somebody else on and give them something to do, and you take the shorter end of the work. So like instead of having just 8 hours worth of work, you have 12. So you work 4, you make them work 8, because you're going to spend another 4 going out there getting more work, stuff like that. Window washing business is something that is really easy to get started if you are homeless. You can go around. There's a lot of homeless that actually do that. They kind of solopreneur. If this is something that you want to do and you kind of want to push yourself to grow, again, it's about getting more work than you can handle, so you can bring somebody on, give yourself more time to be able to go out there, get more work, so that you can build an organization under you. That's really what it is when to become self-employed, to become an entrepreneur, you not only have to be good enough to go get your own work, but to get enough work to be able to support other people. Because as much as people keep saying, go get a job, without business, you wouldn't have the need for employees, okay? Because the business owner knows how to make a trinket, and so many people want this trinket. But he needs people to go out there and to build that trinket. And because he's now made a way to be able to generate more work than what he can do, he can now start bringing other people on, and it becomes more of a community thing. The reason why modern business is looked down upon now versus the way it used to be looked down upon is because like a corporation used to be something like a non-profit. It was there to benefit the community. It was there to be responsible to the community. In modern times, with the way that the lobbying has really changed the way in which we operate corporations, we see the greed and the profit and all that other stuff nowadays. But really, being a business owner means that you are not only good at getting enough work for you, but you're good enough at getting enough work for other people, which means you do quality work, which means that you build good relationships within the community, which means that you have a good reputation within the community. And then you hire people on that are going to help kind of bring that reputation on. That's essentially, that's business 101. If you really want to understand the crux of it. So whatever it is that you do, it doesn't matter if you're, like, one thing that I did just to make money is I went to the dollar store. I bought a pouch of rocks for $1, and I bought a pouch of seashells for $1. And I laid out a blanket, and I sat there on the river walk, and I laid them all out, and people were like, oh, those are cute, those are nice, how much? I'd be like, whatever you want to give me for it. I paid $2. I walked away with, $50-$60. Okay, there's always ways to make money. What separates you from a worker versus being an entrepreneur is your ability to not only create quality services, quality products, and a quality outcome, to be able to go out there and drum up your own work, but to be able to have enough to where you can now start bringing other people on. Okay, and that's really where it's at, because not everybody wants to go out there and rummage up their own work. And the difference between the haves and the have-nots are, the have-nots are the ones that want to wait around and expect somebody to, hire them because the business owner went and got more work than he could do, so that he could hire somebody else to come and do it, which happens to be, the individual that all they want to do is they want to work, because they don't have enough self-confidence in themselves to be able to go out there and rummage up their own work. For those that want to do like the whole beta alpha thing, yeah, in a lot of ways, you can almost consider somebody who is too scared to go start a business for themselves a beta, because you have to be willing to take a lot of risk. You have to believe in yourself, and you have to know that you are worth what you say you're worth. When I started my janitorial business, it was very easy for me to get up and going, because one, I'd been in the industry before. I had the working knowledge, and I was buying leads, but for $20, I made $180. I took that $180, put $80 back in, bought more leads, made $1,500 off of that, put more money in. I ended up making like $1,600 my first month and like $3,500 my second month, because I knew, I had the confidence to know the product that I had. Sometimes I undersold myself. Sometimes people would tell me my prices were too high. But for the most part, everybody was always satisfied, because I was giving them not only the bang for their buck, but I was giving them a quality experience, and that takes a certain individual. That takes somebody that is willing to have a sense of self-worth, self-confidence, and a sense of community. Because when you're a small business owner, contrary to what people think, small business owners care more about their community than most of the community does, because that community is how you make your living. So if you don't make sure that community is thriving and healthy and that things are going right, then as a business, it's going to affect you. And so therefore, being responsible to your community is extremely important. So that's what I have to say on this subject. You know how to help this channel. Become a subscriber. I got memberships on Patreon and YouTube. And then also on top of that, I've got my GoFundMe for a van, and everything else is down in the description. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the next video.